Welcome back to Roman's Christmas. We got some more pictures in the gallery, so we're going to go through all of them real quick. Yes, I think that's the only new picture we have. Sean's redemption. That's really something that you would say such thing. So apparently this is like just at the end of where we were. Why does this sound weird? Oh no! I turned off my computer during the move! Oh shit! I have to find my notes. Hang on. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. Turns out you didn't forget me, Sean. Sure. So you merely forgot that promise you made, right? So sorry, I haven't had a chance to recommend you. No chance at all. But the Marquis Valet doesn't bring you every single chance to even mention my name. So sorry. Even if you didn't fulfill your promise, I still hope that we could keep in touch. Don't smash things! Just wait a moment. Don't be so angry. Even if you fail to keep your word, I always thought of you as a friend. Don't come near me! This is what I wanted to tell you after I calmed down, but you never gave me the chance because you murdered me. Day 3. 25th December, 1285. Oh, it's Christmas. I always seem to oversleep on snowy days. The thin, gray light coming from the window, half smothered by snow, is barely enough to wake me up. I climbed out of bed, still feeling dizzy. The snow hadn't stopped yet. The tavern was quiet. The sound of chatting and clattering mugs were all absent. Doors in the corridor were shut, even Kane and Sean's. It's almost enough to make me wonder if last night actually happened. Makes me wonder if there's any audio, or if I just accidentally turned off my headset. Then maybe it was just a nightmare. There it is. I walked down the stairs. The lodger sat in the hall drinking. Silence reigned. Peter, Ioannis, and Elegant were sharing a table. Peter was practically trying to drown himself with cider. Ioannis took him by the wrist and set the cup down. Benefits of having a huge friend, I guess. Elegant sat by and watched quietly, occasionally taking a sip from her drink. Vincel, Solar, and Lunik sat at the counter. The Marquis and Marquise' clothing were even messier than when they walked into the tavern yesterday. Vincent was busy, nervously fiddling with his tie and coat. What information could you possibly give me about this guy? Thrivey, Anzox, and Heron were seated around the fireplace, staring at their mugs without raising their heads. If Thrivey had brought a plague doctor mask, I'm sure he would be wearing it. Zorn was sitting in the stove by the kitchen. The fire wasn't lit. I counted them one by one. There was no sign of Kane and Sean, because they were dead? It's the start of a new episode, and I have to remember what everyone's voices are. Ah, you're finally awake. What happened? I walked to the table by the fireplace. You know what happened. Last night. Right. Anzox came up and whispered in my ear. Peter is taking things pretty poorly. Perhaps lucky Ioannis by his side. Maybe you could talk to him? Of course. But that Sean, the Marquis and Marquise are also in a bit of a mess. Looks like they weren't used to getting themselves dressed. Why are you telling me this? So we can mock them. Good morning, everyone. I hope the incident last night didn't interrupt your rest here. A bit late for that. As the proprietor of White Star Tavern and Kane's friend, I'm sorry for what happened here last night, but I can assure you that I have no need to worry about your safety here at the White Star. All the locks are crafted by professional blacksmiths, and I personally guarantee you they are safe and solid. And I can assure Detective Roman and I will ensure your safety until the blizzard outside is over. Just decided to volunteer me like that, thank you. By the way, Merry Christmas. Peter suddenly shook off Ioannis' head and stood up. I can't believe...
Mister, 2 people died and you're telling us Merry fucking Christmas?
Zorn froze. As far as I could recall, he'd always seemed to deal with all kinds of stuff in a very flexible and quick-witted way that didn't match his appearance. But this time, well...
And Kane, he was a regular here. How could you pretend he's a stranger, for fuck's sake? Are you that fucking cold-hearted, you...
Admittedly, I could understand Zorn's reaction. Sometimes trying to separate yourself from events and staying professional is the only good option. Ioannis grabbed Peter by the shoulder and forced him into his chair before Zorn could do anything in response. Bruh, Pete, for God's sake, sit down and shut up. Yeah, totally, he speaks finally. At any rate, I don't... yeah, totally is what you're going with there. Like, we have to control the grieving. Yeah, totally, bro. And anyway, I don't know how long until the snow stops. Let's just all try and stay calm.
Zarin, I'm sorry. I was just scared.
The fact that you sound like Sean didn't sit well with me.
What if another murder?
It won't, I promise. The dragon gently patted Peter's shoulder, then cleared his throat and straightened himself. For the time being, why don't we all just stay here in the lobby and get to know each other? That way we can keep track of everyone. We're all just pointing guns at one another. And if anyone wants to leave the hall one person at a time, please. No groups, no pairing off. How's that sound? We looked at each other and nodded. Hope Zarn has something prepared to pass the time, because everyone was stuck downstairs today. Maybe I can chat with them one by one. I could also go upstairs and get my book to read. Let's talk. Let me find a place to sit down and talk with some people. Where should I sit? By the hearth. I dragged a chair over to the fireplace.
That rabbit is really quite noisy.
He and Kane have known each other for years. He thinks it's not unreasonable for him to be in such a state.
Forgive me for saying this, but I'm not particularly comfortable being near him.
Why does that matter? Once the snow subsides tomorrow, we'll part ways and be strangers again. Being God's children, we ought to treat each other with kindness.
And children should know better than to shout unless they want to be scolded.
Oh. Everyone's shitting all over this hyena. It's kind of sad. As Anzax rose to get another drink, Heron touched Anzax's elbow with his empty mug. Would you mind filling mine as well, dear boy? Didn't take you for a drinker, father. Oh, he's on the sauce. Anzax balanced two mugs on one hand, his loot in the other, as he headed towards the counter. Seriously, performing didn't work out. He'd do well as a waiter. Anzax filled the mugs and returned. Here you go, father. God bless you, my child. No dragon shrugged and sat down. I moved next to Anzax. What do you want? He instinctively held the loot protectively as I approached. I won't stab it again. Oh, stop being paranoid. It's been a while since I last saw Kane. I didn't expect something like this would... Yeah. Anzax sighed softly and fell silent. A good drinking buddy, even though he never requested a song from me. If he did, wouldn't it just be like that Bible verse? Which one? Give not that which is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine. But still, he is much better than you as a drinker. Why am I talking shit about the dead guy? Peter's outburst sort of shocked me. That's what small animals do, go into hysterics. They tend to attach great importance to kinship and friendship. Family and friends make it easier to survive in a harsh and unforgiving world. Sensible. I assume you also find relationships important. Wolves and their packs and all that. You are right. Socializing with people is one of the required skills of a good detective. When will the snowstorm stop? What do I look like, a village witch? How the fuck would I know? I thought you just said, that was me trying to raise spirits. Would you rather I say something like, oh no, the snow will keep falling and we'll be trapped in here until the spring thaw? If I said something like that, I'd have to cut my tongue out. So it's better to say something nice. Thanks, by the way. For what? For the clue you found at the scene last night. You're more than welcome. I'll be the first to arrive to help you investigate next time. Again with the next time. Very suspicious. Excited Shane Patrick. You're the first to arrive at the scene. You'd either be the victim or the murderer. Sure. By the way, can I ask you something? Why, certainly. Did you happen to touch my nightstand? What? Of course not. I'm the kind of guy I was when we first met. Never mind. So you were a thief. You were a handsome thief. Pretty rough Christmas Eve. Indeed. It's all part of God's ineffable plan. If only we'd listened to God's words, none of these despicable acts would have happened. Here we go again. Surrounded by the goodness and kindness of God, you will become a noble person naturally. People have done far more despicable things for those we call noble purposes. Snow keeps falling down. As part of the ineffable plan. Oh God. I'm like the flood that washes all sins away. No matter how heavy the snow is, it can only cover sin. I'm getting more and more confused. So what? All the sins of Rimth are buried deep under the heavy snow, but the snow eventually melts. No matter how deep the sins are buried, they shall be revealed by the light of the sun. Thanks for nothing. Anyway, thanks for giving Kane and Sean last rites yesterday. Letting the thieves embark on a journey to heaven with dignity is what I ought to do. There's no need to thank me. Is that so? By the way, may I ask you something? What? Did Sean commit suicide? No. This is gonna bite me in the ass, but... Of course not. I got a Chivo for it. Hope he doesn't know I bite my thumb when I'm nervous. Is that so? I suppose I have no reason to doubt your credibility. Right. His priestly smile made me inexplicably uncomfortable, because I lied to him just now. After all, you don't seem to do the sort of thing as despicable as lie to a friar out of a noble cause. Yeah, bye. Sit down beside Thrivey. I'm gonna have to do this for every murder. Can I help you? I want to thank you. For the autopsy, there's really no need. I believe any qualified doctor would do the same if it meant keeping others safe and sane. Although my judgment may not be as good as a professional coroner's, I do try my best. If there's anything unsatisfactory with my work, please do tell me, Mr. Detective. I will try my best to correct it. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Dr. Thrivey, but let's hope we don't need such cooperation in the near future. Pardon my enthusiasm, then. It's like everybody already knows there's going to be another set of murders, and they're just like, any old time now. Is being a doctor difficult? Why are you asking this all of a sudden, Mr. Detective? Why do I think being a doctor is hard work? Didn't you say you got here from another district because you lost your way? I did. Vaya district is connected to 3 others. Lives that most people in each district are not so pleasant. Particularly in the Karnak district. Karnak. Have you been there, Mr. Detective? I had a case there a long time ago. I hope you didn't get sick when you went there. The population there is particularly vulnerable to dysentery. I didn't get sick, but I did get pushed off a roof and was stuck in bed for 3 days. My word, if you can recover from that sort of fall that quickly, then you must be quite robust. I'm just curious, what was exactly in that weird-looking book you had last night? Covering a bunch of symbols that are completely incomprehensible to me. Unsurprising, the book is written with a cipher to prevent others from accessing its knowledge. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. It's quite alright when he asks that kind of question. I'm used to it. May I ask you something? Something? Please, Mr. Detective. Have you seen anyone rummaging through my nightstand? No. However, not suspecting me, it'd be no suit to suspect a colleague, even if the partnership is temporary. It's fine. Well then, a toast to your health, Mr. Detective. Thrivey raised his mug and shook it in the air, then took a sip. Let's find someone else to talk to. These guys are nerds. I walked to the counter. Oh no, it's my 3 favorite people.
Your performance yesterday was splendid indeed, Mr. Roman.
Thanks for the compliment. Mon Dieu, I should be the one to say that. Were it not for you, Monsieur Detective, that fiendish goat would have succeeded in framing me. May that goat rot in the pit with the traitors and the murderers. Nevertheless, Sean Hayes, none! Do not even speak that name before me again. Tss, as you wish, my D. Solar turned away from Luna, her ears flat and her tail lashing in anger. Vincent,
You needn't be so angry, Marquise Harlock. Once the snow stops, I'm sure you'll have more than enough time to make it to His Majesty's Christmas feast.
Bah, it's already too late. It's Christmas today. I am sure to miss the feast if the snow doesn't stop by noon. And there is also the matter of my carriage. Oh, la malchance, les malheur.
I'm sure this is merely a temporary setback for you, Marquis.
Nick rolled his eyes and sighed heavily. Do not try and flatter me, merchant. I really don't want to. Snapped beside Vincel.
What brings you to see me, my good detective?
Hopefully very few questions. I assume it's been quite a long trip from your home to Rimph, right?
Certainly. I haven't traveled this far from Owlet Town in years.
This is your 2nd time here?
Not really.
Vincent paused and continued fiddling with his gloves. He has gloves? He has gloves.
It's my first time visiting the capital.
I guess telling you to have a pleasant trip would be in poor taste.
Oh no, not at all.
His gloves were already on his hand properly. We kept fiddling with the edges. Fiddles with gloves, huh? Just like a murderer would. Didn't you say before you might hire me for a case?
Indeed, my good detective. Anything you
want to share about that? Or so I have time to prepare.
It's just investigating a trivial matter. Easy as it sounds. No need to over-prepare.
Alright. Mysterious. The spice business. The spice business must be making money lately, given the price of pepper in the city just tripled.
The same goes for cinnamon and cloves. Even the price of basil has gone up a lot. Chai tea is really popular nowadays.
I know it's the holidays, but surely it can't be that expensive.
It's because spice shipments haven't arrived at the port yet. Merchants are still consuming their inventories while waiting for their cargo. Naturally, the price goes up as supplies dwindle.
What's up with the gloves? Final stretch this blow tie and put it together.
Great minds think alike.
I always prefer thick gloves, especially those thick enough to retain their shape when empty.
Of course.
I raised my mug and he did too. To Christmas.
Just now.
My mug's clink and I can smell the aroma of pale ale mixed with fresh basil. Fresh basil, huh? Alright, Lunac. He didn't seem to notice me. Such terrible weather. When will this snow even stop? I think it could go for some time. C'est ma voix. I know we should have left earlier. If only I knew about this awful snow. I'd be a laughingstock if I missed the king's Christmas banquet. Come to think of it, how are my carriage horses? Are they seen to? I'm not sure about that part, dude. Fucking why you asking me, dude? Have you been to the king's Christmas banquet before, my lord? I'm curious about what they serve. Ah, an excellent topic. Luna cleared his throat and narrated with enthusiasm while drinking his mulled wine. Domestic animals, birds, fresh fish, and wild game transported from across the kingdom to the kitchen, and then from the kitchen to the table for our enjoyment. You could find a whole roasted cattle, wild boars, dozens of quail and lampreys, fatty venison, and fruits goshawks, stewed dolphins, and more exotic dishes. A peacock was roasted after being skinned, then stuffed back into its skin, its plumage fully intact. Wolves don't appear on the menu due to the fierce opposition of the Home Secretary. The flavor of a whole shark was so peculiar that no one touched it until the end of the banquet. What about dragon? Well, there was one. Then he pointed at Anzacs with the fire. Explain! By the way, if there are other disputed cases in the future, feel free to send for me. Absolutely. Should I encounter such a case again. Though your performance was less than spectacular last night, I still admire the last time. Especially when you dared the criminal to strike at you with the armor under your coat. Your bravery is remarkable as a detective. Thanks. When the hell was that? Are you getting used to your room, Marquis? I'm getting... Pardon? Well, the room, though unfashionable, is clean and the bed was comfortable. But the most serious problem is that my servant was involved in that awful event. Now I will have nobody to serve me. That's his only takeaway from this, I don't know what to say. Right under Warden, he didn't seem to notice me at all. Ugh, Solar, you seem reasonabler. Solar was sitting next to Lunac, so I felt uneasy about talking to her. It'd be better if Solar's alone. Solar doesn't want to talk to me. Not the first time. Hey guys. Peter was face down on the table, his mug close to hand. His back occasionally twitched like he was sobbing. Giannis was gently patting him on the back. At least gently by his standards. Elegant sat by them with a full cup in her hand. Wonder if it's the same cup from yesterday. There, brah. It's okay.
It's not okay.
If Kane was here, man, you wouldn't want to see you cry.
Don't tell me what Kane would want.
Let's get Peter out of the way. I stroked Peter's head gently. Wow, awfully familiar, dude.
What?
What kind of person was Kane like? And then Peter lowered his head. Any idea how long the snow will keep falling?
I hope so.
Peter pushed it in my head and laid it on the table. Peter? I know Kane's incident is a great shock for you. To be honest, I'm just as shocked and confused. But since we don't know how long it'll be until the snow stops, you should probably try to calm down and keep your head for the time being. Fucking relax, Pete! What are you doing? I better not bother him anymore. Shaka bra. Most excellent, my shark. I looked to Giannis, who was patting Peter's back. I still can't believe what happened with Kane. Yes, it was in fact most bogus. I'm still expecting him to come downstairs and chat with me over a cup of ale. Like about that damn seasickness cure he came up with a while back that never worked. Or some amulets he's collecting for some weird shop or something. Well, seasickness? I'm just glad you're keeping Peter calm. I don't know how long we'd have kept it going. Rabbits are like that, bro. It ain't impossible to scare one to death. Just be careful. Huh? I know you're trying to help him. Maybe you should try a more delicate method. I'm gonna bring us back if that's what you mean. No, not that. Be honest, did you poke around in some of my nightstand? What are you talking about, bro? Do I look like a petty thief to you? You know what? You're right. Never mind. Yeah, you may want to pat him more lightly. Like this? I think you can figure it out. Elegant, my beloved, my best friend, and the only confidant in this terrible place. Assassin Nun, you and I get along like a house on fire. When I look at Elegant, she made eye contact and nodded. What was it you wanted to say for the incident last night? I didn't get the chance to ask. I forgot. So, as it was interrupted, maybe it was something should not have been uttered at all. My curiosity will be the death of me. You are not a cat. About the notebook. I grow tired of explaining the same thing repeatedly. You haven't explained anything yet, though. I'm so curious about the reason you came here. I thought you had already figured it out. Is it a good time to tell me? I came here for an investigation. Why else would I be here? Perhaps the carrots too? Well, at least you didn't cover it either way. By the way, have you ever touched my nightstand? What do you fucking think? You have. And you think that's true? I broke eye contact with her. Well, at least she shot straight with me. I appreciate, I don't trust Elegant at all. I trust her the most out of anyone in this tavern. What's up, dude? Anything you want right now? Nothing in particular, I was just wandering around. Then stay in the hall while I lock up the cellar. Why? I'm locking it up in case someone decides to go there for the hard liquor to drown their sorrows. There's enough ale at the counter right now. Just keep an eye on everyone while I'm away. Soren went down to the cellar. Soren came out of the cellar, glanced at the counter, and scratched his head in confusion. That's weird. What is? I remember leaving my keychain on the counter, but now I can't find it. Maybe you put it somewhere else? Maybe. I'll keep looking. Okay, I'm gonna go upstairs. Wait. Soren pointed upstairs. I turn around and saw Thrivey on the stair. Uh-oh. Don't kill Thrivey. Do not kill them in opposite order of how easy their voices are to do.
I'm just gonna go grab a book and come down again. I won't take too long.
He scrambled up the stairs, 2 at a time. Honestly, that surprised me, given his size. Probably be best to wait. I just hope nothing else happens. I don't think there'll be much trouble. Only one person can be alone at a time, and I doubt anyone's in the mood to die. That's all well and good, but it's better for everyone if you just stop there. Don't take what Peter just said too seriously. Of course, I work in a tavern. I'd be called worse things than that. I was going to try and comfort you, but I guess you don't need it. I wouldn't object to a little comfort. Huh? I'm just trying to satisfy your wish to comfort others. After all, it's my job to please my customers. Not in that way, though. So what do we do today? Well, I could set up the darts board to see if anyone's game. Sure, give me emotionally compromised people sharp objects. I'll be watching. Nothing will happen. I could think of a few things that could. Would you stop that? Hold on, I just remembered something. Spit it out. Why aren't you feeding the Marquis' horses? I told Giannis to bring the horses back last night, but he said they died, froze to death, so I had him drag them back to the yard this morning. Why bother with that? Can't let good meat go to waste. Can't say I'm looking forward to a pleasant meal of horse meat, but, I mean, he is right. Thrivey trotted down the stairs, his book under his arm. Could you do me a favor, Mr. Detective? What is it? I'm having a great deal of trouble with the ladder upstairs. Could you... Want me to pull it up into the attic? White Dragon looked aside and nodded. If you would be so kind. Yeah, Thrivey's way shorter than the rest of us, if you remember. By the rest of us, I mean, like, the average height. I think he's like 4 feet and some change. I grabbed the rope and slowly lifted the ladder into the attic. The ladder is heavy, even for me. No wonder Thrivey had so much trouble with it. The ladder reached the attic. I tied the rope to the wooden handle on the corridor wall and went downstairs. Soren took the dartboard from under the counter. I fully expected someone to be dead when I came back downstairs. Since everyone seems a bit bored, I recommend playing a game of darts to pass time. I'm only offering the dartboard and darts. Any bets you want to place are up to you. Yeah! Anzac bounced up to his feet with an eager grin. I guess the idea of possible loot or the sense of challenge akin to some long-lost instincts from his ancient dragon ancestors. I'm not going to participate. Gambling is sinful. Now, give me that ale. I will watch first. I shall watch. It's tempting. Well, I'll watch as well. Fine by me, but I'm going to check my luggage upstairs so I can leave immediately once the snow stops. Before anyone can interrupt, Vincel put down his cup and walked upstairs. Why was he so desperate to leave? Probably because this place fucking sucks and someone got killed in it.
I think I'll just watch.
Oh, no, you don't, brah. You are going to play too. Giannis pinched Peter's ear and pulled him out of his seat. I suppose I could join in and see what happens. Well, that makes 7 participants. Anzox, Thrybe, Vincel, Iannis, Elican, and Peter. Oh, and myself, too. What about you, Roman? It's just a practice round, no bets. Sure. Of course I'm in. Frankly speaking, I practice for it. So that makes 8. What are you waiting for when everyone is here? Let's get started. I'm ready too.
Sorry for the wait, everyone.
Oh, hey, new CG. It doesn't matter. You come at just the right time. What's this spike happening here? Yo, you gotta stand further back, man. He's like a quarter of an inch away. Bah! There you go. Simon lifted up the dartboard and hung it on the wall behind the counter. With its peeling black paint riddled with hundreds of dart holes, the dartboard looked as old as the tavern. Took 3 darts from the groove behind the board and put them on the table. 3 darts only, throw them in turns. I won't give you more in case you toss them around. Also, this should be obvious, don't stick them on the table. No, that was just tempting fate. Anzax walked in front of the table first. Stand just behind this brick. Yeah, ready. Fire! Alright, we will be getting into, I guess, the darts game in the next episode of Roman's Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this so far. If you have been enjoying this, please remember to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to me on YouTube, hit that bell. More videos like this every single weekday. You can find more information about this game in the description below this video. Har har. You can find me on social media at the CJ on Twitter and Mastodon. On Facebook.com/S15Studios. On s-15studios.itch.io, where you can get all of my tabletop games, including my upcoming secret indie game. So look forward to that. And finally, you can find everything else I make, including articles and short stories, on s-15studios.squarespace.com. Check all that out. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Once more, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you